The Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a complex struggle over land, identity, and security. It began in the late 19th century with the rise of Zionism and Palestinian nationalism. The 1948 Arab-Israeli War created Israel and displaced hundreds of thousands of Palestinians, known as the Nakba. This displacement and ongoing territorial disputes fueled tensions. The 1967 Six-Day War saw Israel gain control of the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem. The occupation and settlement expansions became major points of contention. Various Palestinian factions emerged, including Hamas, Fatah, and Islamic Jihad. Each group has its own ideology and strategies, shaping the conflict's trajectory. The conflict involves regional actors and global powers, adding to its complexity. Hamas, an acronym for the Islamic resistance movement, emerged in the late 1980s during the First Intifada, a Palestinian uprising against Israeli occupation. Founded on a platform of armed resistance against Israel, Hamas quickly gained popularity among Palestinians, disillusioned with Fatah's perceived concessions and corruption. The group's charter explicitly calls for Israel's destruction and the establishment of an Islamic state in all of historic Palestine.
Hamas has a dual nature, operating as both a political organization and a militant group. It has established a network of social service institutions providing healthcare, education, and welfare programs, particularly in the Gaza Strip. This strategy has allowed Hamas to build a strong support base among Palestinians, particularly those living under difficult socio-economic conditions.
However, Hamas is designated as a terrorist organization by Israel, the United States, and the European Union due to its commitment to armed struggle and its history of suicide bombings and rocket attacks against Israeli civilians. The group's control of the Gaza Strip, which it seized from Fatah in 2007, has resulted in a protracted humanitarian crisis and periodic escalations of violence with Israel.
Hamas's ideology, tactics, and control of Gaza make it a key player in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Its continued commitment to armed resistance and its rivalry with Fatah pose significant challenges to the peace process and contribute to the ongoing cycle of violence and instability in the region.
Fatah, an acronym for the Palestinian National Liberation Movement, is the oldest and largest Palestinian political faction. Founded in 1959 by Yasser Arafat, Fatah was the dominant force in the Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, the umbrella organization representing Palestinian interests. Fatah initially embraced armed struggle against Israel, but later adopted a more pragmatic approach, recognizing Israel's right to exist alongside an independent Palestinian state.
Fatah played a pivotal role in the Oslo Accords, a series of agreements signed in the 1990s that aimed to resolve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict through a two-state solution. However, the Oslo process ultimately failed to achieve a lasting peace, leading to renewed violence and disillusionment among Palestinians.
Fatah's internal divisions, corruption allegations, and inability to deliver on its promises have weakened its popularity among Palestinians. The loss of the Gaza Strip to Hamas in 2007 further eroded its credibility. Despite these challenges, Fatah remains a significant political actor, controlling the Palestinian Authority in the West Bank and participating in international diplomatic efforts to revive the peace process.
Fatah's legacy is one of both struggle and compromise. Its history of armed resistance and its subsequent embrace of diplomacy reflect the complex choices faced by Palestinians seeking self-determination. The faction's internal challenges and its ongoing rivalry with Hamas continue to shape the dynamics of the Palestinian national movement and the prospects for a peaceful resolution to the conflict.
Section 4, Islamic Jihad, Unwavering Commitment to Armed Struggle. Palestinian Islamic Jihad, or PIJ, stands apart from Hamas and Fatah in its unwavering commitment to armed struggle against Israel. Founded in 1981, PIJ rejects any negotiations with Israel and advocates for Israel's destruction and the establishment of an Islamic Palestinian state. The group has close ties to Iran, which provides it with financial and military support. PIJ is considered a terrorist organization by Israel, the United States, and the European Union due to its history of suicide bombings, rocket attacks, and other forms of violence targeting Israeli civilians. The group's operations are often independent of Hamas's control, and its actions have, at times, escalated tensions between Israel and Hamas, leading to broader confrontations. While smaller in size and influence compared to Hamas, PIJ's uncompromising stance and its ability to disrupt ceasefires make it a significant player in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Its actions often complicate efforts to achieve a lasting ceasefire and pose a constant security threat to Israel. The group's ideology and tactics highlight the challenges of finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict and underscore the deep divisions and mistrust that continue to fuel the cycle of violence. Section 5. The Iron Dome, a shield in the sky. Israel, facing persistent security threats from its neighbors, has developed one of the most sophisticated defense systems in the world. A key element of this system is the Iron Dome, a mobile air defense system designed to intercept and destroy short-range rockets and artillery shells fired from the Gaza Strip and Lebanon.
Developed by Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, the Iron Dome has been operational since 2011 and has proven highly effective in intercepting rockets, significantly reducing casualties and damage within Israel. The system's radar detects incoming projectiles and calculates their trajectories, while its interceptor missiles are launched to neutralize those deemed a threat to populated areas.
The Iron Dome has been credited with saving countless Israeli lives and minimizing the impact of rocket attacks from Gaza. It has provided a sense of security to Israeli citizens living within range of these attacks. However, the system has also been criticized for its high cost and its potential to prolong the conflict by mitigating the consequences of Israeli military operations in Gaza. Despite these criticisms, the Iron Dome remains a crucial component of Israel's defense strategy, providing a shield against a constant threat. Its effectiveness in intercepting rockets has altered the dynamics of the conflict, reducing casualties but also raising questions about the long-term viability of a military solution. Section 6. Beyond invasion, the logic of targeted operations. Israel has conducted several large-scale military operations in the Gaza Strip, including Operation Cast Lead in 2008 to 2009, Operation Pillar of Defense in 2012, and Operation Protective Edge in 2014. These operations aim to degrade Hamas's military capabilities and deter future attacks. However, they also resulted in significant civilian casualties and destruction in Gaza, drawing international condemnation. Despite its military superiority, Israel is increasingly reluctant to launch full-scale invasions of Gaza. This reluctance stems from several factors. Firstly, such operations are costly in terms of both Israeli and Palestinian lives. The international community's condemnation of civilian casualties weighs heavily on Israel's decision-making. Secondly, Israel recognizes the limitations of military force in resolving the underlying political issues driving the conflict. While military operations can degrade Hamas's military infrastructure, they cannot address the root causes of Palestinian grievances, such as the occupation, settlements, and the lack of a Palestinian state. Thirdly, Israel is wary of becoming bogged down in a protracted ground war in Gaza. Urban warfare is complex and dangerous, and the potential for high casualties on both sides is a significant deterrent. Instead of full-scale invasions, Israel has increasingly relied on targeted assassinations of Hamas leaders, airstrikes against militant infrastructure, and tight control over the flow of goods and people in and out of Gaza. This strategy aims to contain Hamas, limit its ability to attack, and prevent a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Section 7. Shifting Sands, the Abraham Accords and New Alliances. The Middle East's geopolitical landscape has shifted with the signing of the Abraham Accords. These agreements, brokered by the Trump administration, normalized relations between Israel and the UAE and Bahrain.
Morocco and Sudan also joined, establishing diplomatic ties with Israel. The accords mark a departure from the traditional Arab stance on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. They reflect evolving regional dynamics, driven by concerns about Iran and a desire for economic and security cooperation.
The accords have been praised as a breakthrough for peace and stability. They have opened new avenues for economic cooperation, tourism, and cultural exchange. However, the accords have been criticized for sidelining the Palestinian issue.
The long-term impact on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict remains to be seen. While not addressing core issues, they introduce new dynamics and opportunities for dialogue.